it ran on a microcomputer, which is what you can see on the screen right now. It was an 8-bit computer, which then also could be on a 16-bit computer. And also DOS means disk operating system. And in the 1990s, it declined because of these the Microsoft DOS, MS-DOS, which is that's what it means in the Windows stuff. We'll talk about it later. And as you can see, it had a very small amount of memory. It had, like this one has 128 kilobytes, and well, it was introducing a different type of language, which was this like the C colon and like the slash. You have to type all the things up where you wanted to go, to the folder you wanted to go, the stuff that you wanted to do on that computer. So now we move on to MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System, the first ever Microsoft PC software, made by Paul Allen and Bill Gates. It was developed from the 1975 to 1981, which is blue instead of black and green, and as you can see, it was a bit better at using the keyboard. It could tell you how and what to press, like the help over there in the right hand corner, which shows that you have to press F1 to press that. And this one introduced, well, not introduced, it had the language of C colon and the slash and then all the other things like you have to do in DOS. And this one also had a microcomputer, but this one also had floppy disk insertable. As you can see now, there's the floppy disk where you insert the floppy disk, and now is the floppy disk that you insert, which is this is what it looks like. And now we move on to this is Windows 1.0. The code name for this was Interface Management, and it was announced on 1983, finally released 2 years later, 1985. And this one, you didn't have to use any of those commands that you have on the DOS or MS-DOS. There was a mouse that you could use, and like at the bottom there is some icons for them to use, for people that use, and there's drop down menus which you can see. There's the file, there's like the edit and stuff like that, and then you can get you have the scroll bar, you have icons, you get new apps like Paint, Windows Writer, which is like Microsoft Word, you get Notepad and a calculator. And then you also get a clock and a calendar, and as you can see there is a game called Reverse. And now you can see a picture of the computer with the first ever mouse, which was pretty cool because then you didn't have to do up all the commands and everything. And now comes 2.0, released in 1987 with an improved graphics card. As you can see, it looks much better than Windows 1.0, and you could have tabs overlapping, so you could open more than one tab, and there in the top right corner you can see the Paint. And the good thing about this one is that you can use your keyboard to do shortcuts, and it involves a faster processor. And the only reason why 2.0 was created so you can adapt with a newer processor. And also the good thing about 2.0 and 2.1 is that it's began to become used in daily lives of workers and became the world's largest PC software. So Microsoft Windows became very popular there. And also there is a game of Tetris, as you can see, new game. And now we have moved on to Windows 3.0 through to 3.11. So first off, 3.0 was released in 1990. It introduced a program manager, which you can see on the top. It introduced, well, didn't really introduce anything else. And then the 3.1 came out on 1992, which included new games and just for the newer processor, which the games were Solitaire, Hearts, and Minesweeper, which you can see on the screen right now. And with Windows 3.11, 3.11, which I want to say, you could actually change the background. And as you can see on this photo, it looks like it's XP, but at the bottom, as you can see, there is no taskbar. So that's the difference between XP and that. So that. Now we move on to now we have moved on to Windows NT 3.1 through to 4.0. 3.1 Windows NT 3.1 was the first ever 32-bit software for a PC. It was mainly made for business people. It also introduced a CD player, a sound recorder, volume control, and a media player. And Windows NT 4.0 was basically just an expansion pack for Windows 95, which we will talk about next. And next we have... So now we are up to Windows 95. It was released on the year 1995 and had the biggest public launch out of all the different Windows. This one had a commercials with the Rolling Stones about like starting it up and everything, talking about how they want to promote the Windows. And this involves like having fax, and as you can see there, it has the emails on. It has like the access to the new internet world, and it had a built-in internet support, and you could install games and other educational softwares. It was able to be used with 12 different languages. Had a start menu, as you can see there. It had a taskbar at the bottom, like what we have now, but this one's a bit of an older one. It was able to minimize and maximize windows, and there was a close button on each Windows, unlike the other ones. Not all of them had closed windows, apparently. And this one had the first version of Internet Explorer. It had the first version of Explorer, and it already and then the year after, it had an already installed flight simulator that Microsoft made. That was pretty cool. So yeah, now we move on to now we have moved on to Windows 98. Windows 98 was released on 1998, and it was the first ever Windows designed for customers. It could be used at work, homes, and internet cafes. And instead of running on floppy disks, now it ran on DVDs and Universal Serial Bus, aka USBs. And now you can see the computer that it used to run on. As you can see, it has floppy disk. Instead of floppy disk insertable, you can see a place to insert the CD. So now comes now we have moved on to Windows Me. It was released on 2000, and it was the final 16 to 30-bit computer only. Like from now on, they were able to make 32 bits, and no more 16-bit. And it used the same code as Windows 95, and as you can see there, it has introduced Movie Maker, which you can edit, save, and share videos, and it added numerous music and ways to enhance your video. So now we move on to now we are up to Windows 2000. Windows 2000 was released on the year 2000. It was based on Windows NT 4.0, and it was actually made to replace Windows 95, Windows 98, and Windows NT 4.0. And it was made for customers, like normal daily people, and for work people, of course. So now comes. So now we are at Windows XP, released in 2001, and as you can see, it was redesigned. It looks better, looks more sleek, it's blue, and it's much more smoother. And also you could change it back to the older one, which was all boxy and stuff. It was based on Windows 2000 and Windows NT 4.0, and also as you can see, there is a larger start menu, unlike all the others. And it was compatible in 25 different languages. It also had Windows Media Player and better ways to enhance your videos and photos. And it was wireless compatible, so it could have wireless internet. So now comes. Now we're up to Windows Vista. Windows Vista was released in 2006. As you can see, a big impact on this update was the new design. As you can see, the taskbar is now clearish, you can see through, you can see the background a bit. The the start menu and the start button is new. Now around every window it is sort of clear. The top of the windows, every window is clear, and as you can see in this picture, most of the files are blue on the outside, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting fact. And also, this was available in 35 different languages. And now comes. Now we are up to Windows 7. Windows 7 was released on the year 2009. It had better performance than Windows Vista, and basically most of it was the same as Windows Vista. And also at the bottom on the taskbar, you can see that the icons for the windows that you have opened up are square instead of rectangular, like all the others back before. And it was also made for a touchscreen tablet or laptop or whatever it is, and it just had much better performance than a lot of other computers. That's why it was made. And basically the Windows Vista was basically the beta of Windows 7, so most of from Windows Vista are in Windows 7. So now we move on to. So now we are up to Windows 8 RT and 8.1. Windows 8 was released in 2012 and was mainly made for touchscreen devices, such as your touchscreen laptop, touchscreen PC, touchscreen tablet, and it had a full screen task menu. So when you open up this task menu, you had to click on your keyboard because there was no start button at the bottom left hand corner of your device. So it was a full screen start menu, and there was a Windows Store. On Windows RT, it was mainly made for only on some tablets and some PCs. It was designed for sleek devices with long battery life. And Windows 8.1 was released in 2013. It had a start button this time, and this time you were able to sync devices across from each device.